the 4th of July, freedom celebration. We just went through all of that honor and respect. It's all about freedom. But what does freedom really look like? We talk about it, but do we ever dive in to see what that really means in real life? Because we don't just need a slogan, hey, we're all free, happy 4th of July. No, we need to live it and breathe it for the people who gave us that freedom. We need relief from all the pressure and the overthinking, the freedom to sit in silence and without the noise that never quiets down. That's the freedom we want, the freedom to be able to make our own decisions based on our hearts and not just a long weekend for the 4th of July. And how many people really honor those that gave us that freedom? We need freedom from the spiraling, the tension, all of those distractions that keep us from remembering the importance of why we are free. We are free to think however we want, speak however we want, as long as it's in respect to others. But we can't do that without a pause and a breath and starting to realize that we really truly aren't free. This is where this freedom box that we created comes in. Because the freedom box isn't about, here's a box, here's a great talk, put it away. No, it's about making a promise and hoping that your life gets easier. It's about giving us the tools to empower ourselves. Something useful when stress shows up, when that overwhelm, when the brain is too loud, when the body is tight, when that reaction hits fast and we're about ready to react and peace feels way out of our range. Our freedom box is a reminder that calm isn't some rare gift people are handed to at birth. No. Freedom is a practice, a skill, a way back to ourselves. And that matters because life is going to get quiet, is not going to get quiet just because we want it to. People will still disappoint us. Schedules will still get messy and busy, and our thoughts will still go sideways. Stress will show up at the worst time possible. It's not a surprise. But the surprise is we're never taught what to do with that, with the stress and the overwhelm and the thoughts coming at us. We grew up laughing and getting our energy out, but now we're just taught to push through it, tough it out, keep moving, hold it together. But holding it together isn't the same thing as being free. Holding it together means burying it and hiding it, and that's not real strength. Real strength is knowing when to stop long enough to reset. Freedom. Stress doesn't just show up in the mind, it shows up in the body, in the jaw, in the stomach, in the way we breathe. That's not freedom because we're giving away our power to all these things that affect our body and mind. The way we speak to others, the way we speak to ourselves. Freedom and free will comes from the heart. And if we never interrupt the cycle of stress, it starts to feel normal. That's the trap. Not the stress itself, but that we're starting to act like it runs our life. And it does. And freedom starts the moment we realize it doesn't run our life. We can control it. Not always easy and not instantly, but enough to change what happens next. The space between what happens and how we respond is freedom. That's where freedom lies. That's where peace lives. That's why our freedom box matters. It's not just a box, it's a reset. It has the tools you need to create the habit to pause, be curious, breathe, find calm, and then decide. Freedom. It says we're not stuck here. We can pause. We can breathe. We can come back to ourselves. We can make a choice that resonates with us, who we are. we can come back to ourselves. And that matters after the 4th of July, because people died to give us the freedom to live our life the way we choose. So let's celebrate that freedom by actually taking that freedom back, free will. Not just once a year to celebrate it, and we should celebrate those that gave it to us. And not just when life is easy, but every day, in our thoughts, in our reactions, in our homes, our work, the way we handle the noise before it turns into a mess. Now, there are plenty of people who look free on the outside but are trapped on the inside. Maybe you're one of them. Trapped in negative thinking. Trapped in believing what everyone told you to be. Who you are, what you can do, what you can't do. Trapped in overreacting. Trapped in fear. Trapped in stress. And you never learn to interrupt those thoughts. And that kind of mental noise will wear you down and keep you in the prison of your own mind. You're not free. It makes everything in your life just feel heavier than it is. So if you want a peaceful life, if we want a peaceful life, we've got to get serious about what's been running the show. We've got to notice the thought before it turns into a story, or notice the thought and what story it comes from. We've got to catch the reaction before it becomes our default system, or catch that reaction because it's our default system. We've got to give our nervous system the ability to rewire. That's wisdom. That is freedom. And it starts with all the micro habits. A pause before the reply. A breath before the next move. And a different thought before the spiral gets a head start to take you down that rabbit hole. A choice to stop feeding what doesn't serve us. That's how peace is built. That's how you can reclaim your power, your freedom, your free will. It's in small, steady, everyday decisions. That's why we created the Freedom Box. We give you the reminders throughout the hectic, busy, everyday life to make those choices, to reclaim your free will, your freedom. It supports the kind of freedom that lasts long after the fireworks are gone. The kind that shows up on a regular Monday. The kind that helps us stay grounded when life becomes busy, messy, and loud. The kind that reminds us that peace isn't a luxury. It's a discipline. It's a habit we can create. So here's a question worth keeping, worth asking yourself. What if freedom wasn't just something we celebrated? What if it was something we actually practiced? What if it looked like a clearer mind, a steadier breath, a calmer response, a less reactive life, stepping in the person you've always wanted to be? I've done that, and so can you. And that's what we offer. Free will. It's time to unleash, unbury that free will. Free it from the prison of your mind so you can start making the choices to be you boldly. Life gets loud, and sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is just pause, breathe, and then proceed. How? How we want to. That's freedom. That's free will. That's within your power when you create this habit. Check out our freedom boxes. Check us out. We want everyone to have freedom, free will, true freedom, in honor of those that fought hard, and many gave their lives to give us freedom. This is Karen Wright. A new way of living with a new way of thinking. Peace out. Remember, that pause can change everything.